Why seek out new life on other planets when it can come to you?
I got one of them. Zoomed right in on him, boys. That's one of them right there.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 places on Earth to meet an extraterrestrial.
The aliens all seem to be balding. Just think about it. A whole race of people brushing their hair forwards.
While WatchMojo cannot guarantee a UFO sighting at any of these locations, swarms of locals will assure you it's bound to happen. So sit back, strap in, and prepare to welcome our new spacey overlords.
Don't be afraid.
Number 10, Arizona, USA.
Look at them!
I got that one on video.
There's just 4 of them. Look at, there's 3 of them all together.
The Copper State has had its share of UFO traffic throughout the years, leaving some to conclude that the southwestern entity is mystical or contains space vortexes.
He was looking south, saw 4 lights in a diamond shape, and then that moved to a cup shape. Each light slowly started to fade, but once they disappeared, one of them reappeared.
Referred to as the Phoenix Lights, a UFO sighting on March 13, 1997, was reportedly seen by thousands of people in a 300-mile stretch from the Nevada border to the city of Tucson.
I felt as if I could reach up and touch it.
But the lights, which were a row of stationary orbs over Phoenix and a triangular formation over the rest of the state, were explained by the Air Force to be flares that were being tested. Of course they were.
So we called several agencies tonight, including the FAA, Sky Harbor, Luke Air Force Base, and Phoenix Police. So far, no one knows the reason behind the lights.
Number 9, M Triangle, Russia. Also known as the Perm Anomalous Zone, this is a mysterious area near the Ural Mountains that's located some 600 miles east of Moscow. Starting in earnest in the Cold War era, but dating even further back by some accounts, were reports of watches stopping, of sound being frozen, and of almost daily sightings of strange lights, symbols, and letters in the sky. There have also been reports of people leaving the region with superpowers and increased intelligence. Most importantly for would-be alien greeters, there have also been numerous reports of encounters with translucent or glowing beings.
I bring you love.
It's bringing love. Don't let it get away.
Break its legs.
Number 8, Wycliffe Well, Australia.
It's a mysterious ancient place, the Outback, for those willing to explore its wide open spaces.
Called the UFO capital of Australia, this tiny roadhouse community in Australia's Northern Territory has supposedly been a hotbed for UFO activity since the Second World War.
Yeah, Wycliffe Well is recognised one of the 4 major hotspots in the world, and that comes about purely by having continuous sightings. I mean, a lot of places around the world and thousands of places had sightings of one format or another, and then that's it, all over and done with. But here, I mean, it's continuous.
When servicemen first spotted unexplained shapes in the form of cigars, squares, and rectangles. These days, catching orange, green, and red lights in the skies of the area is so common that it's actually considered unlucky if you don't see a UFO while visiting. This is fortunate for Wycliffe Well, which has little else to see, especially considering few people actually live there and there are only the most basic of amenities.
Well, according to scientific sort of reasoning behind it, there's sort of ley lines, these energy lines around the world, and we happen to be on the crossroads of them.
Number 7, Bonnybridge, Scotland.
The lights came over Grangemouth, and the object that they were attached to hovered above Grangemouth Stadium.
Claims of spacey activity in the land of the Gaels began in earnest in 1992, when a star-shaped object was spotted in the sky. Since then, Bonnybridge has come to be known as the UFO capital of Scotland, as sightings have apparently been a near-daily occurrence.
We live in an area with a population of about 124,000, and we firmly believe that over 60,000 people have had a sighting.
In fact, in the mid-90s, so many were reported each year that the local government made a request to the Prime Minister for investigation. Enthusiasts suggest Scotland may act as a window into another dimension, while Bonnybridge, along with the communities of Stirling, Fife, and Edinburgh, form parts of the Falkirk Triangle, a common spot to see mysterious lights in the sky.
The first time it happened, my eldest son came into the house. He had been followed by something.
Number 6. The UFO Trail, San Clemente, Chile.
A UFO sighting in Chile? The country's government there releasing these pictures showing what they believe to be an unidentified flying object.
While many places claim to be the UFO capital of their respective countries, very few can claim to be nationally funded. Following steady reports of UFO activity, the Chilean Tourism Board officially named a 19-mile path through the Andes Mountains in San Clemente as the UFO Trail. While the government doesn't guarantee extraterrestrial sightings, many speculate spaceships are drawn to the area due to its minerals and the blocks of land that make a perfect landing pad for those arriving on horseback or via spacecraft.
Chilean officials in the government, they say it's not ours, and the Aeronautical Society says we had no planes in the sky, we don't know what it is, and they've ruled out meteorological data.
Number 5. Mexico City, Mexico.
Black objects. Maybe in this fleet happens the same thing, that the sun is on the back. The sun is on the other side.
While reports of UFO activity in Mexico date back as early as 1883, although this was later confirmed to be geese, the days of its capital city being an interstellar pit stop truly began in July of 1991. This was when many people reported seeing a strange, hovering craft during a total solar eclipse. This was followed by a craft sighting in 1997, and what's arguably the world's largest UFO sighting in 2005. In the latter, massive amounts of people claim to have seen up to 100 bright objects in the sky.
We are very disconcerted by this thing in the sky.
What is this?
We don't know how to call it. Just watch carefully.
Number 4. The Great Pyramids of Giza, Egypt.
It's doubtful that ancient Egyptians had any knowledge of modern geology, and without this science, it's inconceivable that a structure this size could be built which would not crumble from lack of a proper foundation.
The earliest known written account of a UFO spotting, perhaps unsurprisingly, comes from ancient Egypt. During Thutmose III's reign from 1504 to 1450 BC, the pharaoh saw a fiery circle climbing up the night sky before it disappeared. Thutmose found the sight so unusual, he ordered it to be formally documented on papyrus for posterity. Meanwhile, UFO enthusiasts claim that aliens had an even bigger involvement in Egyptian history, going so far as to suggest it was extraterrestrials that built the Great Pyramids. References to sky gods and UFO-shaped hieroglyphics are cited to support these claims.
Everything else about this ancient wonder remains a mystery to traditional thinkers, which leads us to believe that a higher power was involved, whose purpose was much more significant than entombing a pharaoh.
Number 3. Stonehenge, Wiltshire, England.
It descended into a field, and she described it as like the moon falling down from the sky. And it landed in a field at the back of her property. And as she watched, she said she saw 2 very tall, faceless humanoids who emerged from this object, about the size of a minibus.
In 2009, the British Ministry of Defense formally closed its UFO desk and released 60 years' worth of collected data. Chief among them were numerous reports of UFO sightings in the area surrounding Stonehenge. While hundreds of reports came in during the 70s and 80s, accounts tripled during the era of the smartphone, which is partly what led to the closure of the file. If aliens did visit Stonehenge, it seems no one knows who they were or what they were doing.
And looking at it now, looking at the details of the sighting, there's an orange light that was revolving.
Number 2, Area 51, Nevada, USA.
If you saw that there were aliens there, would you tell us?
Yeah.
You would?
Officially known as the Nevada Test and Training Range, this base near Groom Lake, Nevada has a long history of secrecy. While the American government did formally acknowledge the existence of Area 51 in 2013, virtually nothing else was released. Because so little is known about it, many think the base may harbor aliens, or that it may be used as a site to reverse engineer off-world spacecraft, or that it serves as the headquarters to real-life Men in Black. Reports of unusual aircraft and rumors of Roswell vaults only add to the mystery.
So it makes it increasingly less likely that we're alone.
Oh, you're trying to give me a hint that there are aliens.
No, I'm trying to tell you I don't know.
Oh.
But if we were visited someday, I wouldn't be surprised. I just hope that it's not like Independence Day.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
It was clearly not 5 aircrafts. It was one aircraft with several lights, and it was right over our house for a long period of time.
Number 1, Roswell, New Mexico, USA.
No. As far as I know, an alien spacecraft did not crash in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947.
The town of Roswell was forever put on the UFO map when something fell from the sky in the summer of 1947. Although the military declared to the public that the prototype surveillance balloon was in fact simply a weather balloon, many were convinced it was actually a bona fide spaceship.
Weather observation balloon, of course, which we both knew differently.
The speculation gained more momentum in the late 1970s when Major Jesse Marcel claimed the debris he handled from the site was not of this world, and that he suspected a government cover-up was in place.
It was not anything from this earth that I'm quite sure of, because being an intelligence officer, I was familiar with just about all materials used in aircraft and in our air travel.
Glenn Dennis's later statements about alien autopsies taking place in Roswell only added fuel to the fire.
If the United States Air Force did recover alien bodies, they didn't tell me about it either, and I want to know.
Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite UFO hotspot? For more galactic top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
In fact, the last group complained quite tellingly, I think. They said, why don't you have a spoon that just says Earth? It would save time.